Hey y'all, welcome to day one of Vlogmas. And welcome back to my channel, Amy here. I'm gonna try to do Vlogmas this year. I completely failed at it last year because I caught COVID. So I thought I'd maybe try to do it again this year. I'm not making any promises. My life is pretty boring, y'all. All I do is sit at my desk and work all day. Some days I have to go pick up work. Thursdays I go into work. I don't do much, but we'll see how it goes. On Sundays though, instead of me like vlogging all day, there will be like my normal videos, which like today, I will actually be putting up my Mail Christmas romance video. Why can't I say that right? So that's gonna go up for day one. And then another day we'll have like my November wrap up and my December TBR. So normal videos will be put into the mix of the Vlogmas videos to kind of just, I guess, maybe just give me a little break. But we'll see how it goes. We're just gonna play it by ear. I'm only gonna be doing from December 1st to the December 23rd. That way I can have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day just with my family and not carrying a camera around with me all the time. So for 23 days, you'll see me every day, hopefully. But anyway, today we're gonna start off with a Mail Christmas romance video for your viewing pleasure. But before I go, I forgot about one book that I had written on my November new release video that I forgot to transfer over to my Mail Christmas video, and that is The Geek Who Saved Christmas. This is by Annabeth Albert. I'll put it up over here. It came out on November 9th. It says it is The Geek Who Saved Christmas is a low angst mail holiday romance with a guaranteed happy ending. This grumpy sunshine, neighbors to lovers, found family tale features two heroes in their 40s figuring out that maybe their sexily ever after was right next door the whole time. It stands alone and is not connected to any of the author's other universes. However, it does contain a heaping helping of the same emotions and steamy moments readers have come to expect. I love Annabeth Albert. She's one of my favorite mail romance authors, so that's the only one I forgot to add to this video. But moving on to the actual real video, hope y'all have a great December 1st, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Amy here. Today we are going to be talking about some mail romances that are Christmas stories. mail Christmas romances. Maybe that's how I should have said it. But yeah, I'm just having a chill afternoon. I made me some of my herbal coffee, so it is no caffeine, no acid, no acidity. So I've been having trouble with the whole acid reflux thing. I need to slow down on the coffee, slow down on the caffeine. The Teeccino, I believe is what it's called. I'll put a link for it down below if you want to check it out. It's really, really good. It's the closest thing to like tasting like coffee without the acidity or caffeine. I know there is decaf, but still decaf still does have a little bit of caffeine in it, and of course it has the acidity. So Teeccino herbal coffee, it's very yummy. I get the French roast, but they have tons of flavors, and it just kind of it just hits that spot. It hits that coffee spot so good. Okay, so lots of books that have come out already or that will be coming out in December. Yes, but we're gonna start off with some old ones because I do have some old ones that have been on my list for a little while. Some ones that I didn't get to, like say last year, that I had on my list. So we'll talk about those first, and I do have some that are like within a series. Some I do plan on reading the first book. Some I think I'm just gonna dive into the Christmas book because it's part of a whole series, but the rest of the series isn't Christmas stories. But yeah, we'll get to that. I have my laptop here. I have my notebook with lots of titles down here, so I'll try to go through them pretty quickly, but I'll be referring to my laptop for a good portion. First, we'll bring it back to 2016. I actually put this one on my like Amazon wish list, and I've never gotten to it. But this is Merry Christmas, Mr. Mingles. I'll be putting them up somewhere over here. This is by Eli Easton. I've read some things by this author before, and from what I can remember, I really enjoyed them. Toby Kincaid loves being the junior librarian in his hometown of Sandy Lake, Ohio. He spends his days surrounded by books and chatting with the library patrons. He especially adores the head librarian, Mr. Miggles, who is kind, witty, knowledgeable, and everything, and hopefully addicted to Christmas. Sean Miggles is also pretty cute, especially for an older guy who wears ties and suit pants every day. But Sean keeps himself at a distance, and there's a sadness about him that Toby can't figure out. When Sean is accused of a crime he didn't commit, he gives up without a fight. Toby realizes that he alone can save the library and their head librarian. Toby will need to uncover the darkness in Sean's past and prove to him that he deserves a second chance at life and at love too. And while Christmas miracles are being handed out, maybe Toby will get his own dearest wish to love and be loved by Mr. Miggles. It sounds really cute. We maybe have like a little bit of a touch of a mystery in there. So yeah, that's been on my backlist for a little while. Okay, so here's one that is part of a series. It's like number 7, book number 7 in the series. It's called A Very Merry Christmas, and this is by Lucy Lennox. This came out in 2017, November 20th of 2017 to be exact. It doesn't state that it can be read as a standalone, but I wanted to include it because it's a Lucy Lennox for one. She's one of my favorite male romance authors. And it's Christmas themed, and it sounded really cute, so why not? I may dive into it and just see where it goes. If it can be a standalone or not, I'll just give it a go. It doesn't really have much of a synopsis. It just says 12 marrying men a mating, 11 blind dates a blinding, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing. Okay, maybe that's just Griff. 8 kids a complaining, 7 changes of clothing, 6 love junk gadgets, 5 drag queens, 4 calling neighbors, 3 nosy grannies, 2 men falling in love, and a partridge in a pear tree. It just sounded really cute, so I put it on the list, like I said, and it's Lucy Lennox, so even though it's number 7, I might still give it a go. This next one came out in November of last year, of 2020. This is Cupcakes and Christmas by R.J. Scott. R.J. Scott has tons and tons of Christmas stories, male romance. I can usually rely on her this time of year if I'm looking for something. If you go to her website, I'll put it down below actually. She is on top of it for the Christmas game. This says the story of long nights in a wintry mountain hotel, a baking show with secrets, a snowman called Jeremy, and finding the greatest love of all. This one has a bit of a long synopsis, so I won't get too much into it, but I put it on the list because it sounded cute. It's R.J. Scott, so why not? This is another one that came out last year in November. This is Operation Fake Relationship by Jay Northcote. I actually had this one on my list to read last year, and I didn't get to it around the holidays. So it's going to go on the list for this year. Is obviously a fake relationship story. It just says, can a fake relationship between best friends turn into the real thing? This one also has a long synopsis, so I won't go too far into it. But I read Jay Northcote before, and I really loved his stories. So yeah, we're going to try and read this one this season since I had it on my TBR for last year. This next one really intrigued me. It's Wonderland by J. Scott Coatsworth. This one is a little bit more on the maybe darker side. Not really darker side, but maybe more of a haunting story. I don't really know. Let's see. It says Zeke is a hermit in his late 40s who lives a quiet life in a small cabin in the western Montana mountains. a few miles outside of Thompson Falls. He's gotten used to being alone since the end of the world and has everything he needs, everything but someone to talk to. Nathan is a younger man on a cross-country trek, searching the country for anyone who is still alive, saddled with a ghost from his old life and a case of OCD. He stumbles upon Thompson Falls and a pack of rabid dogs. Rescued by Zeke, he has to figure out how to be human again. And with Christmas just a week away, both men have to figure out if there's something left to be hopeful for and if they might have a future together. So this one is apocalyptic, I guess. It's the end of the world and they find each other. I don't know. It just sounded different and I really was intrigued with it. So I put it on the list. But this one came out last year in December. Okay, this next one I'm really excited about. I actually had it on my list last year, and once again, I didn't get to it. Really want to get to it this year. This is Jingle Bell Rock, and this is by Ella Frank and Brooke Blaine, a dynamic duo. So this says, the crossover event to end all crossovers. One night, 7 couples, a Christmas they'll never forget. So I don't believe you would have to read the other books to really, you know, read this one as a Christmas story, but it does contain characters from their books prior. So we have Logan and Tate from the Temptation series, Ace and Dylan from Presslock series. I've actually never read that one. Viper and Halo from the Fallen Angels series. Haven't read that. Robbie, Julian, and Priest from the Confession series. I actually have that on a list that I want to read. But yeah, we have a story with them. Panther and Solo from the Elite series. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite series. Shaw and Trent from South Haven series. Haven't read that. Paige and Dawson with Riley. The LA Liaison series. That was a lot. So yes, lots of different stories with these characters in the story. I haven't read all of them, most of them actually, but I need to get on top of that. But I'm still going to dive into this book because I think it would be fun. So I put it back on my list. I actually, like I said, I wanted to read it last year, didn't make it to the TBR, so hopefully I can get to it this year. Here's another one I had on my list last year. I actually wanted to start the series. So this doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily a Christmas story, but it's a winter story. It came out in January of 2021, so earlier this year, and it's called Winter Waits. This is by Lucy Lennox. This is point 5 of the Astor Valley series. I've been wanting to start this series and I just have not started it yet. But this is like a little, I'm guessing like a little short story to get us into the series. Probably something like Crushing on Him was a little like pre-story before we got into the Men of Summer series by Lauren Blakely, which I'm currently on the 2nd book right now and absolutely loving it. But this one says, Gentry Kane is a rock star I've been half in love with my whole life, and now he's my patient. When Winter Waits knocks on the door to the snowy cabin where his next physical therapy patient awaits him, he has no idea his dream celebrity is on the other side. Gentry Kane is everything Winter has always fantasized about, but it was only a fantasy. What happens when Winter is faced with a flesh and blood man who wants more than physical therapy? Can one night in a cozy cabin lead to more, and how will that affect the Winter's growing career in the tiny, charming town of Astor Valley? So, not necessarily a Christmas story, but if you want to put this on your list for just a winter fun, the beginning of the winter months, the beginning of the Astor Valley series, I definitely want to try to get into this series, possibly in next year, which is very, very close. Next up, this was released this year, November 9th, so fairly recently. This is Christmas Mountain by Garrett Lee. I've read a couple Garrett Lees in the past. I haven't had too much luck with Garrett Lee, but I did enjoy his Christmas story last year, which was Angels in the City. So I thought I'd go ahead and try the new one, Christmas Mountain, that just came out. It says, the probation officer caring for his dead brother's baby, the wounded gentle giant with the biggest, softest heart. It has a very long synopsis. At the end it says, a Christmas mail romance from Garrett Lee. Expect long-lost friends to lovers, heartwarming found family, and the swooniest second chance at love with a healthy dose of sweetheart comfort. Gorging on mince pies and cinnamon spice donuts is optional, but deeply encouraged. We'll see. It sounds really cute. Like I said, I enjoyed Angels in the City from last year, so I'm going to try the new book. Another one by R.J. Scott. This is The Wishing Tree. This one comes out on December 10th. This one says The Wishing Tree is a standalone small-town Christmas mail romance with perfect snow, twinkling lights, a first real kiss, a shy virgin with a silken kink, a retired hockey player, and all the Christmas feels. So I really enjoy R.J. Scott's fun Christmas stories, so I put this one on the list as well. Okay, so next I have two in our Walker Christmas stories. One was actually released last year, and then there's the new one, part 2, following from that little story. So I'm putting Tic Tac Mistletoe back on the list for this year. This was released last year in November, but it looks like we'll be following two men maybe that haven't had the best Christmases in the past. The synopsis is really long, so I don't want to go too much into it, but it says, these two unlikely strangers have more in common than they first realize. And after 2 days of Christmas decorations, cookies, and non-stop conversation, it looks like Christmas might be saved after all. So we have one of our characters moving from Australia down to, or over to the US, when a snowstorm diverts his plane to Montana and leaves him stranded 2 days before Christmas. Then we have Ren, that was Hamish, or Hamish. Then we have Ren. He's always lived in Montana, has a family hardware store, and a few failed attempts at love. But when a car runs off the road in front of his property, Ren pulls the driver out and takes him home to get out of the cold. With the storm and the holidays leaving Hamish with nowhere else to go, Ren kindly offers a place to stay. Hamish is certain he's crashed right into a Hallmark Christmas movie, despite more car delays and road closures and the prospect of not seeing his sister for Christmas. These two unlikely strangers have more in common than they first realize, and after 2 days of Christmas decorations, cookies, and non-stop conversation, it looks like Christmas might be saved. Sounds really cute. And then in our Walker's most recent addition to this Heartbridge Christmas series, this is Christmas Wish List. This one comes out, or it came out, November 25th. In need of work and a change of scenery, Aussie expat Jaden Turner agrees to a short-term chef position at a bed and breakfast over the Christmas holidays. After all, how hard could it be in a small town in the mountains of Montana? After his divorce, Carter, or Cass, bought his great aunt's rundown country manor in his hometown, and he's determined to get it ready for the busy holiday period. Recently out as gay, he has been forced solely on his business and hasn't had time for a man. As his new clients arrive, and being away from his 2 kids celebrating Christmas is the last thing on Cass's mind, but his new chef has other ideas. And if there's one thing on his Christmas list this year, Jaden can make it come true. Sounds really cute. This next one is also part of a series. This is number 2 in the Operation HEA series. I actually talked about the first book, Operation Meet Cute. This one came out, Operation Meet Cute came out in August of 2021. I actually talked about it in a new August release video. So it's been on my TBR. I have not read it. But the follow-up story is Operation Meet the Parents, and it's a Christmas story. So I really need to read the first one so I can read the second one. And this is by K.M. Newhold, so I'm sure it's going to be a great story. So I don't want to say too much about this one because it looks like it might possibly have some spoilers for the first one. So I definitely don't want to dive into it, but it is going to be part 2 from that book, and you probably should read the first one before you would read this one, but I wanted to put it on the list anyway because I do want to read the first one, and this one is a Christmas love story, so we'll see. Another Eli Easton that was released on November 16th. This is The Best Gift. It says, this standalone long novella is a small town Christmas cornucopia, May through December, hurt, comfort, military romance, stuffed full of family and holiday feels. It's got a really long synopsis. Don't want to get too much into it, but it does have like a military character who has a bruised heart. It says, with help from a Christmas miracle, 2 bruised hearts find joy again. Then we have another J. Northcote that was released on November 21st. This is Stuck With You. 2 clashing colleagues stuck together for Christmas. Will opposites eventually attract? Contains enemies to lovers, snowball fights, bickering, spanking, a cute dog, a wise old lady, a mistletoe, and a happy ending, of course. So like I said, I really enjoy J. Northcote's other books that I've read, so I put this one on the list too. So that is all I have as far as what I have written down. Books that I wanted to get to last year that I didn't get to, or some that I found that I didn't know from previous years, and then of course some that have came out this year. I'm sure I'm missing something, so let me know in the comments down below if there are any Mail Christmas romance stories that you've enjoyed this year yet, or in the past if I haven't covered anything, which I'm sure there's so many Christmas books out there. So I hope you're all doing well out there, enjoying the holiday season so far. Hugs from me all around, y'all, and I will see you very, very soon in another video.